So the city is taking e-bike safety to the next level. Mayor Eric Adams announced a new round of initiatives giving more access to certified e-bikes and creating more public charging stations. Listen.
We're going to make it easier and faster for property owners to install public battery charging and swapping cabinets on sidewalks in front of their buildings, using our public streets and spaces properly. So this is a huge change. This is a big change. This is a big deal today, and it's going to help make safe charging accessible to all New Yorkers.
New York City will also be the first in the country to offer an e-bike trade-in program. So here to tell us more about how this is all going to work, when we can expect the rollout, is Fire Commissioner Kavanagh and Transportation Commissioner Ydanis. So great to have both of you with us. Commissioner Kavanagh, I want to begin with you, right? Because you've really been leading the fight on this issue, going to Congress as well, getting some changes made to the e-bike system. When you look at the numbers of deaths from last year compared to this year, obviously there has been some progress. Where does things stand now, just first and foremost?
So one thing I'd really note about that progress is the number of fires is the same, which means these dangerous, poorly made bikes are still here, and we've talked a lot about that. That's why I went to D.C., and that's what will stop that inflow. But the deaths are going down, and a huge piece of that is our messaging around safety to the public and about charging them outside. And we are actually seeing that the fires are, in some cases, outside now, even outside of an apartment, and also that people are getting out. So we know that education works, and that's part of what we announced yesterday is $1 million towards that education. We also announced the ability to help businesses build these outdoor charging stations so people can get these outside.
Yeah, Commissioner Rodriguez, talk about that. The DOT installing these public charging stations for e-bikes all across the city. You're working with businesses, landowners. Can you talk about that and how that works?
The pilot program's already showing that it's working. So we already have a few locations that we've been providing free, safe charge to the Liberitas, and they've been participating in great number. Now the question is, how can we expand it? And that's why DOT is kicking off. Yesterday, we sent the language to the New York City Record to publish the rule that will be out next week for the revocable consent that will allow property owners and business owners to be able to use the sidewalk to provide opportunity to those in the private sector that would like to establish, to create those safe station charges in those locations citywide. The second thing is that we also are providing $2 million as, working together, led by Mayor Adams. The commission is putting $1 million in the campaign. We at DOT are putting $2 million providing free electrical bike to those Liberitas who would like to exchange their used e-bike that they've been using for more than a year, that they have made $1,200 a year. So there's some criteria that we have, but the reality is that we are in the business to be sure that those who use electric bike charge those bikes safe.
Are you getting any pushback from neighborhoods that don't want them in their neighborhood?
Well, again, yesterday we sent the language, and next week the rule will be published. Starting in August, we're going to be inviting all the stakeholders to send their opinion. We believe that in a city where last year we had 200 million bike trips, where 80% of New Yorkers are placing order once a week, 24% they're ordering 4 times a week. It is time for we as a city to organize our delivery business.
So, Commissioner Kavanagh, the charging system is just for the battery, right? Not bringing the whole bike outside. Exactly. Just the battery goes into that component. Is that structure itself, 2 questions here, is it fireproof?
So it is,
okay.
And part of what we announced yesterday is some additional resources on our end to make sure that people are using the right ones, right? So they're not just buying anything on the market. We have seen people promise fire-safe cabinets and they're not. We will be making sure they're safe, the fire department.
And I thought you made a good point yesterday about the fact that you tell people to charge them outside, but who has outdoor space, right? If you're living in an apartment. So how does a building apply to get that if they know that their residents have a lot of e-bikes?
So we are putting together the rules and actually getting them out to them. I've actually spoken to a lot of the real estate organizations in the city, REBNY, but also a number of co-op boards. And actually, as Commissioner Rodriguez said, that's part of helping people who are maybe resistant to these in their neighborhood, is getting them to understand this is a matter of life and death, and that we can help, right? And that they can actually cite them on a place in their property that might be appropriate, and that means they're not in their buildings, right? For a landlord, I would hope that they'd hear our moral case about safety, but if nothing else, they are liable if their buildings catch on fire.
And also, thanks to Leader Schumer and Jeffrey and New York City Congressional Delegation, New York City DOT and NYCHA, we secure $25 million to also build safe charges around natural residential building that will be used not only by natural residents, but also it will be used by all New Yorkers that will have to charge the e-bike in our public space. So I think that together again, Commissioner here from Fire Department, also with the leadership of Mayor Ydanis and the support at the federal level. Also, I think that we put in our New York City as a role model to all the municipalities of how we're taking this very seriously.
What's the timeline look like?
So, we actually have done a few of these already,
okay.
but we're going to take that model and try to speed that up and actually be releasing some documents people can use, but people are doing this right now, so this will hopefully speed this up.
The trade-in program sounds interesting here, right? Just to be clear, you're taking an old e-bike and trading it in for a new one, but isn't the battery the issue?
Well, we've been consulting with the industry, and what we are doing, as the commissioner say, those 4 locations that we already provide space for the industry to provide 4 different type of charging to the deliveritas. Now, with this rule that will be published next week, the one on creating, the revocable concerns and the swapping the bike are only 2 of many initiatives that we're taking very seriously. So I think that right now, again, with the funding that we have, we believe that it's $2 million. Commissioner here, Fire Department and us is at $3 million together.
When can people trade their bike in?
Next year. So starting August, all New Yorkers will be invited to bring their feedback, and the program will be ready to start at the beginning of next year.
And how do they get all that information, just quickly?
Go to the website, New York City DOT, and we will be working together with the Fire Department to be sure that the information will be disseminated.
What if they don't want an e-bike? What if they want something? What if they want the money?
Well, the question is, are we ready for the city where most people are ordering online?
I see.
Exactly.
Commissioner Kavanagh, Commissioner, I'm just saying, people want that cold hard cash sometimes, and money talks. Great to have both of you here. Thank you for all you're doing to keep everybody safe.